rescue dog Nadia and her 10 puppies barely made it to safety from the flood the 28th of June 2023. Since day one of the war, we have given our all to support Ukraine and its precious animals. And when the country faced another devastating blow with the breach of the Kakhovka Dam in Kherson region and plunged into even greater desperation, we reaffirmed our commitment right away. We were rushing pet food, medicines and rescue equipment to the region of Kherson and Mykolaiv. Both were affected by the flood, as well as having our veterinarians on standby to provide life-saving treatments to evacuated animals. Nadia, which means hope in Ukrainian, was one of many animals affected by the flooding. In fact, her life was hanging by a thread due to the dam breach, and the lives of her 10 puppies. Luckily they could be rescued from the flooded area in time. Nadia and her puppies were brought to the veterinary clinic at the communal enterprise of Mykolaiv to receive the help they needed. This was not easy though. Nadia was so stressed upon arrival that at first she would not let anyone touch her or go near her pups. We cannot imagine what this poor mama dog has been through. Fortunately, our 4 paws veterinarian Dr. Valentina Danilov managed to gain Nadia's trust and could start the highly necessary treatments. It is important to note that rescuing an animal from the flood is only the first action. We know that the contaminated water often has a range of long-term consequences. The animals that did not drown have been swallowing the water while trying to survive the floods, or have been drinking the water due to lack of fresh water availability. No wonder that all animals that come in are covered in parasites, fleas and ticks on the outside, while also battling sickness on the inside. Nadia was covered in ticks upon arrival. 4 paws vet Dr. Valentina Danilov managed to provide her with anti-parasite and anti-tick treatments, as well as a complete health checkup. Nadia is still anxious after all she has been through, but she's one of the lucky ones, and so are her puppies. Nadia and her offspring have found safety at the veterinary clinic in Mykolaiv, where their temporary box provides her with a safe feeling and a place to calm down in. The team did not find any signs of ownership or a microchip on Nadia, but this was also the case for the other animals that were rescued and treated. Nonetheless, pictures will be posted online to see if an owner or community member recognizes the animal. If this does not happen, the veterinary clinic at the communal enterprise of Mykolaiv will ensure a safe, local home. Animal welfare efforts continue even in times of war. 4 paws rescues former restaurant bear in Ukraine, the 24th of March 2022. The 24th of March 2022. Global Animal Welfare Organization 4 Paws has successfully rescued and transferred a 20-year-old Ukrainian restaurant bear to its bear sanctuary Domaja near Lviv in western Ukraine on the 23rd of March. 4 Paws had been planning to rescue male brown bear Vova since last November, but his fate was a court matter prior to the outbreak of the war. It seems he had to endure all of his life in a tiny concrete cage near a recently burned down restaurant in the Khmelnytsky region, also in western Ukraine. Vova was not harmed in the fire, but his living conditions and safety became even more unstable, so that the owner handed him over to the authorities voluntarily, and the rescue was finally possible. Although attacks have now been reported in the west of Ukraine as well, the team at the bear sanctuary continues to provide the best possible care for all the bears, and the sanctuary continues to offer a safe place for bears in need. The transfer of Vova to bear sanctuary Domaja was done by an external transport partner. A local veterinarian accompanied the transfer to check on Vova's well-being. Vova has arrived safely at our sanctuary. We are grateful that the authorities finally made his rescue possible. Bears need to roam around, dig, and swim, not pace back and forth on the same few square meters all of their life. Vova's stereotypical behavior shows that he has been bored and unable to live out any natural behaviors. Our team at Bear Sanctuary Domaja will now make sure Vova receives all the care he needs to recover and live a species-appropriate, bear-worthy life, says Magdalena Shirk-Tretin, responsible for bear projects at 4 Paws. The keeping of bears in private captivity is still legal in Ukraine. However, due to the changes in the Ukrainian law on the protection of animals from cruelty, in November 2021, the keeping of bears and big cats for leisure and entertainment purposes became illegal. For this reason, Vova's keeping became illegal, and his fate became the subject of a court decision. However, the court rejected the case twice. After the war broke out in Ukraine, Four Paws was contacted by the responsible authorities and asked to take him into its care as soon as possible. Recent emergency relocation of 7 bears. At the beginning of March, Bear Sanctuary Damaja already welcomes 7 bears from White Rock Bear Shelter near Kiev, which is run by the Four Paws partner organization Save Wild Fund, in an emergency transfer. As Kiev is heavily affected by the war, a local transport company brought the bears to the Four Paws Sanctuary in the safer western part of the country. Bear Sanctuary Damaja provides a temporary home for 4 of the bears. The 3 others have since been transferred further to bear sanctuaries in Germany. Bizia performs her therapist tasks professionally, and by doing so she provides valuable therapeutic support. In our AAI program, Bizia was specially trained to respond to human reactions and very clearly identifies people who are tense, stressed or traumatized. She can bring a person out of such a state by licking their hands or touching them with her paw, which invites them to interact. The patients begin to pet her, hug her, and gradually calm down. Bizia does not judge or evaluate. She gives unconditional love and comfort, says Habrick, the Four Paws AAI program. With AAI, we want to change attitudes and behaviors towards stray animals by showing that they can add value to the society and improve the well-being of the community. We also want to show that stray dogs can make good pets. Thus we encourage local shelter adoption, says James Panay, who is responsible for community engagement at Four Paws. Four Paws has developed its own quality standards for AAI to monitor the quality of all involved activities, establish the best possible quality of life for the former stray dogs in its care, and operate the program as effectively and efficiently as possible. First, dogs suitable for the task are selected and trained by using welfare-based methods like positive reinforcement. After approximately 12 months of preparation and training, the dog's health, temperament and behavior is evaluated. Dogs that are ready for the job stay calm in all situations. For example, a wheelchair or crutches are not irritating for the dog. It is also important that the dog wants to work with strangers and is gentle, easily approachable, and does not show any signs of aggression. It should never be a burden for the dog, says Panay. Four Paws runs AA programs in Ukraine, Bulgaria, and Romania. A species-appropriate home for rescued bears. Four Paws officially opened Bear Sanctuary Damaja for visitors in October 2017, creating a species-appropriate home for bears rescued from cruel and catastrophic keeping conditions. 34 bears, including new arrival Vova and the 4 recently transferred bears from White Rock Bear Shelter, now live on the 20-hectare site. Four Paws is deeply concerned about the war in Ukraine and closely monitoring the developments, especially as attacks have been reported in the western part of the country as well. The staff at Bear Sanctuary Damaja and the bears are currently safe and doing well given the circumstances. Vova has arrived safely at our sanctuary. We are grateful that the authorities finally made his rescue possible. Bears need to roam around, dig, and swim, not pace back and forth on the same few square meters all of their life. Vova's stereotypical behavior shows that he has been bored and unable to live out any natural behaviors. Our team at Bear Sanctuary Damaja will now make sure Vova receives all the care he needs to recover and live a species-appropriate, bear-worthy life. The keeping of bears in private captivity is still legal in Ukraine. However, due to the changes in the Ukrainian law on the protection of animals from cruelty, in November 2021, the keeping of bears and big cats for leisure and entertainment purposes became illegal. For this reason, Vova's keeping became illegal and his fate became the subject of a court decision. However, the court rejected the case twice. After the war broke out in Ukraine, Four Paws was contacted by the responsible authorities and asked to take him into its care as soon as possible. Former stray dog Bizha assists therapy for recovering soldiers in Ukraine. Four Paws Animal Assisted Therapy Program provides emotional support and PTSD prevention. 9.6.22 Vienna, the 9th of June 2022. The war in Ukraine continues to cause immense suffering for millions of people, not least those at the front lines returning injured or mentally traumatized from the combat zone and in need of special medical care both mentally and physically. Global Animal Welfare Organization Four Paws has been offering animal-assisted intervention AAI Ukraine since 2018, a program for which former stray dogs are selected, trained and certified by experts to become therapy dogs. It was originally created to change the way people perceive and treat stray animals. Now therapy dog Bizha is also providing emotional support and PTSD post-traumatic stress disorder prevention to servicemen of the armed forces of Ukraine who received injuries and are currently in the hospital in Vinnytsia, in central Ukraine. Psychologists note that the effects of other methods of rehabilitation is faster and more visible in those veterans who also work with dog therapists. Therefore, the AAI experts from Four Paws, who have been visiting displaced people from the east of the country in Vinnytsia since the beginning of the war, decided to support injured soldiers. The dog acts as a guide between the psychologist and the patient, creating a trusting, relaxing atmosphere. When patients feel safe with the dog, they open up. The main task of our work is to support and assist with the rehabilitation of the patients after they were exposed to hostilities, rescue operations, and got injured in order to prevent PTSD post-traumatic stress disorder, which is already a psychiatric illness. If patients want to communicate, but find it hard to do, it is in many cases easier with a dog than a human. Often we come to the hospital and notice that a person who hasn't talked to anyone starts interacting with the dog after a short time, says Victoria Habrick, the practical psychologist at Four Paws who works with Bizha and the soldiers. The list of conditions for which canine therapy can be effective includes stress, depression, crisis, aggression, and hyperactivity. Interaction with the dog helps with social development, relieves anxiety, calms and relaxes. Bizha's journey from stray dog to canine therapy dog. After the success of Lisa, Ukraine's first former stray AAI dog who has since retired, the Four Paws team in Ukraine was ready to rescue and train another dog for the project. They found what they were looking for in Bizha, a former stray dog from Lviv who passed all tests with flying colors and became the second former stray dog in Ukraine to participate in AAI. Charming bulldog becomes human sister's best customer in adorable playtime makeover. He's the cuttest client. Mandy Jasevich, November 1, 2024. Dogs have a way of knowing what their human siblings need. They provide comfort after a challenging day and companionship when they don't have other kids around. Some even seem to understand how to play pretend. At least this beautiful bulldog knows how to be the perfect customer at his human sister's make-believe beauty shop. See how this sweet boy enjoyed his makeover in a video from October 22nd. George at Kingeorgi Fadens is unquestionably the best brother. This well-groomed bulldog allowed his little sister to give him the works without flinching, as she took great care to give him a special spa day. He had his fur brushed and blow-dried, a makeup application, and a pedicure complete with polish. After getting beautified, he even checked out his sister's work in the mirror. While this makeover may have been pretend, the love is real. This good boy seemed to understand that allowing his sister to play made her happy, so he was delighted to oblige. Not all dogs could sit quietly while having a tiny human touch their toes and apply their eyeshadow, but the sensational fellow did a stand-up job. Are bulldogs good with kids? Bulldogs are well known for their gentle, calm, and patient nature, making them excellent family dogs. As with any pup, it is essential to begin socialization with kids at a young age, so they understand how to behave around them. However, It's important to note that bulldogs are not well suited for rough play or running, because of their short noses brachycephalic. They can quickly overheat, and their physical limitations mean they may not enjoy overly energetic activities. Like King George, many prefer more relaxing experiences, like spa days, but that doesn't mean they also don't want short periods of active play. People were charmed by this precious duo. Viewer at CP_Kokuras responded, "That is the most heartwarming video. We have a bulldog, and she loves being pampered. They are so good with kids and have the best temperament. That's for sure." Viewer at Lulu_Lena_and_Boomer_makes_3 remarked, "George is 1 in a billion, and she did great work because he looks fabulous. There's no doubt about that." Viewer at Hollis_Russell_ responded, "These two are inseparable. I love the way that George looks at her with such admiration. It's clear he would do anything for her, and he's setting the bar high for her future relationships." There are many ways in which dogs enrich kids' lives, and their unconditional friendship is at the top of the list. As we age, we may not remember all of our childhood, but we will never forget how our dogs made us feel. Golden Retriever picking out birthday gift at Walgreens becomes the talk of the town. Everybody loved it. Alison Blair, November 4, 2024. Humans make such a big deal out of birthdays. Listen, not everybody gets it. There are definitely some people who don't care for birthdays, and that's fine. Luckily, there are people out there who make a big enough deal out of birthdays for the whole world. A prime example got posted to TikTok recently. It was a golden retriever's birthday, and his dad did what any good dad would do. He took him to Walgreens and let him pick out whatever he wanted. Shoppers simply could not get enough. I'm so happy that Juan Hernandez was able to give Buddy such a good birthday. He totally made everyone else's day, too. Buddy is a very sweet boy, though we unfortunately haven't gotten to see a lot of him on his dad's account. Basically just this video as well as a follow-up where we saw that his parents also made him a birthday cake. He got to enjoy a nice big slice before he worked it off playing with his new toy. Walgreens is not technically pet friendly, but like most stores, whether they enforce that or not really depends on who's working at the time and how closely they obey that policy. Buddy is a very sweet and well-behaved dog, and he just went to pick out his toy and leave. While trips to Walgreens probably won't be a super regular thing for him, this one was totally fine. Can dogs play with regular stuffed animals? One of the first things I noticed when watching this video, that Buddy headed straight for a big regular stuffed animal. Not a single squeaker in sight. Knowing what I know about Walgreens stuffed animals, that's certainly a pricey present. Regular stuffed animals are not made from the same material as actual dog toys, so they won't hold up as well against tough chewers. If you've got a dog who loves to shred, a stuffed animal won't stand a chance, so you should probably choose something else. However, there's nothing inherently unsafe about regular stuffed animals being dog toys as long as you're around to supervise. Since they don't have squeakers, stuffed animals are actually often preferred by rescue dogs or anxious dogs in general who don't love the noise a squeaker makes. Some dogs also legitimately enjoy the company of a stuffed animal in their bed, especially puppies. When my girl dog was just a baby, I put a little stuffed unicorn in her bed at night, and it really helped her make it through the night on her own. Of course, she tore him to bits when she got older, but it was great in the moment. Happy birthday, Buddy. Rescue kitten and reactive pit bull's relationship blows minds and melts hearts. Mom was not expecting this. Alison Blair, November 1, 2024. There are several different kinds of reactivity when it comes to dogs. It's especially common with dogs who have spent time in shelters or dogs who have just generally gotten rough starts in life. With lots of time, effort, and love, reactive dogs can become some of the best dogs you'll ever have. Recently, a woman who has a reactive pit bull found herself in a position where she had to rescue a kitten, but she didn't know if she'd be able to keep her because of her pup's history. However, She decided to take a chance. And the ending is the happiest of all. I truly think that Leia Salmarie hit the jackpot with these two. And I love that for her. I'd love to pet them both, they deserve it. There are two main characters here, Major, the pit bull, and Mr. Mittens, the girl cat. Yes, her name is Mr. Mittens, but for some reason, it really fits her. Major was adopted from a shelter unexpectedly. Leia had gone in looking for a cat to help with her anxiety after leaving the military, but she saw Major there and just couldn't leave without him. A few weeks ago, she rescued an orange kitten who was in need, Mr. Mittens. At the time, she was probably too little for them to properly identify her gender, so she was given that name, and it stuck. Another thing that stuck was her. In general, this was supposed to just be a Forster situation, especially because of Major's reactivity, but they ended up loving each other. Even though Major has no problem with Mr. Mittens, their mom says she still only lets them around each other if she's there to supervise, just out of an abundance of caution. Better safe than sorry. Different types of reactivity in dogs. We don't know exactly what Major is reactive to, and there are many different options. While a lot of people take reactive as more of a blanket term, and think that that means they'll snap at anything and everything, that's actually not usually the case. There are a few main types of reactivity dogs can sometimes struggle with. Dog reactivity. They react negatively to other dogs. People reactivity. They react negatively to people. People reactivity varies too. Some are male reactive, others are female reactive, etc. Fear reactivity. The dog reacts negatively toward anything they perceive as a threat. There are a few subsets of each category, and every dog's exact triggers will vary, which is why it's important to consult your vet at the first signs of reactivity. If you have time to get a plan in place, you can save yourself, your pet, and others from the stress of a bad situation that might trigger them. Luckily for Major, sweet Mr. Mittens doesn't seem to trigger him. Polite golden retriever wakes dad to charge his favorite toy, and his joy is everything. This is too precious. Candice Ganger Powell 14 hours ago. When a dog has a favorite toy, you must never, ever lose it or let it die. They want it with them at all times, so be prepared to swoop in to the rescue if something happens. Luffy, the golden retriever's most prized possession, is his light-up musical toy, and when the battery's drained, he needs his dad's help to bring it back to life, even if it means waking him early in the morning to do it. Luffy needs his toy, like right now, so waking dad is the only option. Watch how gentle the golden asks. Then he excitedly gets his charged toy back. This cute clip is a follow-up to a plethora of videos where sweet Luffy and little brother Luffy and Moo, are on a high from the joy this toy brings. He loves the way it vibrates in his mouth, sings, and even repeats words. Enrichment toys like this plush jumping dog toy from TikTok's Go Good Pet Supplies are essential to any dog's quality of life. One look at the happy golden, and you can see why. Other activities these pups enjoy when they're not fighting over who gets the cool toy include jumping on dad while he's in the pool, playing a fun game of tug of war, and being generally adorable. Benefits of enrichment toys for dogs. Luffy's toy obsession has merit. It's been proven that enrichment toys are important for dogs of all ages and breeds. According to Preventative Vet, you can have a better behaved and happier dog when you introduce enrichment toys they enjoy. Toys that expose puppies to problem solving, though different sights, sounds, and textures are paramount for brain development. Choose easier puzzles to keep them from getting frustrated, and work your way up to more difficult toys and games. For pups prone to stress, these types of toys can decrease separation anxiety. Even shelter dogs have been shown to have decreased signs of depression and other ill behaviors when they have something to keep their minds busy, because they're the perfect distraction to reduce stress. Even the happiest pups get bored. To keep them from turning that into destructive behaviors, like chewing shoes or tearing up furniture, enrichment toys give them something to do to keep them out of trouble. All dogs need mental and physical stimulation. But these types of toys specifically, the ones that force them to move their bodies, are great for older dogs, or those with physical limitations or conditions, so they get some kind of exercise without stressing their joints the way games like fetch might do. The bottom line: make sure your dog is mentally stimulated with the toy of his or her dreams and have a happier, healthier pup like Luffy. Frenchie arguing with Dad over taking him on a walk is adorably unhinged. Winston has so much to say. Candice Gangapal, November 3, 2024. Pet parents know to never say the W word walk unless you intend to follow through right away. I've made that mistake more than a few times, and let me tell you, my dogs never let me forget it. Winston the Frenchie's in his feelings right now because he'd like to go on a walk and won't stop arguing about it until he does. This pup loves his walks, so of course he's upset when it's not happening. The October 29th clip may not show his finest moment, but the internet is going wild over it. And this isn't the first time the Irish Frenchie, Winston the French, let his feelings be known. He's pretty opinionated about everything and does not back down when confronted. With so much passion in his argument, people are getting a kick out of Winston's vocalizations. "Oh my God, he actually sounds like a teenager," one person wrote. "The last words when he started going down the stairs was about time," another said. "I thought it was a kid mocking you until I saw Winston at the end. LOL, I guess I was right," another added. This is one dog you do not want to argue with, because in the end, he will win. Is a French Bulldog the right dog for you? As you can see, Winston has a lot to say. The American Kennel Club describes the feisty breed as playful, loving, and adaptable, and smart, social, and affectionate companions. That's all true. But if you're thinking of adopting this non-sporting group dog, there are a few things to consider. Yes, French Bulldogs are absolutely adorable with their trademark bat ears and ability to remain relatively small, which is great for city dwellers. But their big personalities may make them a bit stubborn when they want or don't want something. Early socialization and training are key to nipping that in the bud. The good news is, they're people pleasers and respond well to positive reinforcement training via praise and high-value treats. This is a pup that won't need too much exercise and is otherwise pretty chill. So they're generally good with children. And, funny enough, the site says Frenchies aren't a particularly vocal breed, which makes them great watchdogs who will only bark as needed. If that's true, Winston's parents may want to have a word. That said, this is a fantastic pup who will, no doubt, love you with all their heart unless you deny them a walk.